I'm hoping for something very substantial in the garden shaft. This is where the treasure hunt actually begins.
What if one of the biggest stories surrounding Oak Island right now isn't just misleading, but completely fake? For weeks, fans of The Curse of Oak Island have been flooded with shocking rumors about Season 13. Social media has been buzzing with alleged leaks claiming massive treasure discoveries, secret breakthroughs, and even behind-the-scenes developments that could change everything we thought we knew about the island's legendary mystery. These reports spread like wildfire. Thousands of fans shared them, debated them, and speculated about what they could mean. Some believed the treasure hunt was finally reaching its endgame. Others wondered if the claims were simply too incredible to be true. But now, one of the most trusted names connected to the Oak Island operation has stepped forward with a response that nobody expected. Craig Tester has reportedly addressed the rumors directly, and according to his statement, the Season 13 leaks are completely false. Not partly true, not exaggerated, completely false. So, what really happened? Were fans misled by fabricated information? Did internet speculation spiral out of control? Or is there something much bigger happening behind the scenes that viewers aren't being told? In today's video, we're breaking down the entire controversy. We'll examine what the leaks claimed, why so many people believed them, and what Craig Tester's response could reveal about the future of Oak Island. And before we dive in, if you're fascinated by Oak Island mysteries, hidden history, treasure hunts, and the latest updates from the island, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an important discovery. Because when it comes to Oak Island, the deeper you dig, the stranger the story becomes. Let's get into it. A legend under pressure. For years, Craig Tester has been viewed as one of the most grounded and credible figures in the Oak Island search. While wild theories and speculation often dominated discussions, his presence brought a sense of logic and technical expertise to the operation. But now, subtle signs coming from Craig seem to suggest something few people ever imagined. What if the Oak Island treasure hunt is not exactly what it appears to be? This isn't a small claim or a minor controversy. It's an idea that strikes at the very core of a story that has fascinated millions of viewers for more than a decade. If someone with Craig Tester's experience begins to question the narrative, it forces people to re-examine every discovery, every breakthrough, and every setback that has unfolded over the years. Craig was never just another member of the team. He played a critical role in many of the most important technical operations on the island, from overseeing deep drilling projects to analyzing ground-penetrating radar data and evaluating the stability of historic underground structures like the Money Pit. His expertise helped give credibility to the search. Whenever unusual materials or promising clues emerged from the depths, Craig's knowledge often helped validate their significance. Without his involvement, many of the technical aspects of the treasure hunt would have felt far less convincing. What's particularly interesting is that his doubts did not emerge through one dramatic statement. Instead, they appeared gradually through subtle comments, shifting priorities, and a growing distance from the project itself. It felt less like an accusation and more like the slow realization of someone who had spent years confronting difficult truths. This is why discussions about Craig Tester's warnings have gained so much attention. The warnings aren't directed at him. They're believed to be coming from him. Many people forget just how much real-world experience Craig brought to Oak Island. Long before becoming involved in the treasure hunt, he built a successful career in the oil and gas industry, where precision, engineering expertise, and practical problem-solving are essential. He wasn't approaching the mystery as a dreamer. He was approaching it as a professional trained to separate fact from speculation. And when someone with that background begins expressing skepticism, people naturally take notice. The scale of the Oak Island operation itself makes the situation even more intriguing. Over the years, crews have drilled hundreds of feet below the surface, excavated enormous amounts of earth, and deployed advanced technologies ranging from seismic surveys to sonar imaging systems. The total investment has reached staggering levels, amounting to tens of millions of dollars, which raises an obvious question. Why would experienced businessmen like the Legina brothers, alongside a highly respected expert like Craig Tester, continue investing so much time, money, and effort into a search if they secretly believe there was nothing left to find? One possibility is far more unsettling than most fans want to consider. If Craig's hints contain any truth, then perhaps the search itself has become part of a larger narrative. Every recovered artifact, every wooden fragment, every mysterious reading detected by expensive equipment may have helped sustain a story that keeps viewers engaged year after year. After all, Oak Island has never been only about treasure. People are drawn to the island because it represents mystery, adventure, and the possibility of uncovering something history has hidden away for centuries. The legendary curse claiming that 7 people must die before the treasure is found only deepens the fascination. According to the story, 6 lives have already been lost in the pursuit. Whether fact or folklore, that legend adds emotional weight to every new discovery and every setback. But if the treasure itself remains an illusion, then these dramatic elements become powerful pieces of storytelling that help keep the mystery alive. Throughout the years, Craig Tester often served as the voice of reason amid increasingly ambitious theories. His calm, analytical approach provided balance whenever speculation threatened to overtake evidence. That's why his apparent doubts carry so much significance today. Was he a believer who slowly lost faith after years of searching? Or was he simply recognizing realities that others preferred to ignore? Whatever the answer may be, the implications stretch far beyond questions about hidden gold. They challenge the very foundation of the Oak Island story itself, and that's only the beginning. Because another factor may have shaped Craig's perspective in ways that many viewers never fully understood: the weight of personal loss. For Craig Tester, Oak Island was never just a treasure hunt. Behind the cameras and technical discussions was a deeply personal story marked by heartbreak. Many believe this tragedy may hold the key to understanding why his outlook gradually changed over time. What viewers often forget is that Craig carried an immense emotional burden throughout much of the search. The loss of his son, Drake Tester, was a devastating event that affected not only Craig, but the entire Oak Island team. Drake had been involved in the early years of the project, bringing enthusiasm and energy to the adventure. His unexpected passing due to a private medical condition left a void that was felt by everyone connected to the search. For many fans, that tragedy transformed how they viewed Craig. He was no longer seen only as an engineer or treasure hunter. He became a father navigating unimaginable grief while continuing to appear on the island. His decision to remain involved despite such a profound loss earned the respect and sympathy of countless viewers. Some believed he stayed because the search represented a connection to memories he shared with Drake. Others felt it was a way of honoring his son's passion for the project. Yet grief has a way of changing people. Even though Craig continued contributing valuable technical expertise, many observers sensed a difference in his presence. The same enthusiasm that once fueled the search seemed quieter, more restrained. And perhaps that's understandable. Experiencing a tragedy of that magnitude can alter a person's priorities entirely. Goals that once felt important can suddenly seem insignificant. Dreams that once inspired excitement can lose their meaning. It's possible that years of chasing uncertain answers while coping with personal loss eventually caused Craig to question whether the pursuit was still worth the emotional investment. If so, his warnings may not have emerged from anger or frustration, but from reflection. From a man reevaluating what truly matters after enduring one of life's most painful experiences. The endless cycle of hope followed by disappointment that has defined so much of the Oak Island search may have become increasingly difficult for him to accept. And that possibility opens an entirely new chapter in understanding Craig Tester's role in the mystery. One detail that continues to stand out is Craig Tester's decision to leave behind a major chapter of his life. He sold his multi-million-dollar home in Traverse City, Michigan, and gradually stepped away from the day-to-day demands of Oak Island. On the surface, it may have seemed like a practical life decision, but to many observers, it represented something far more significant. That property, valued at nearly $4 million, symbolized years of success, commitment, and a lifestyle closely connected to the treasure hunt. Walking away from it suggested a growing desire for change, a willingness to leave behind an era that had defined much of his life. What's particularly fascinating is that this shift appeared to happen around the same time his skepticism regarding the treasure became increasingly noticeable. That raises an important question. Did years of emotional hardship and a changing outlook eventually lead Craig to conclude that the treasure itself was little more than a legend? If so, his warnings may not have come from resentment or frustration. Instead, they may have emerged from a deeply personal realization formed through years of experience and reflection. And once we examine his technical role in the search, those possibilities become even more intriguing. The technology behind the legend. There is no denying that Craig Tester served as one of the primary technical minds behind the Oak Island operation. His engineering expertise and extensive experience in the oil and gas industry gave the team a level of credibility that few treasure hunts could ever claim. Whenever complex drilling projects were underway, underground hazards needed assessment or unusual sonar readings demanded interpretation, Craig was often at the center of the process. His scientific approach helped balance many of the more imaginative theories that surrounded the island. For years, viewers trusted him because he represented evidence over speculation. But if his recent hints and doubts are taken seriously, then many past events begin to look very different. One rarely discussed reality is that scientific findings can often be interpreted in multiple ways. The same data can support different conclusions depending on how it is presented, emphasized, or explained. So, the question becomes unavoidable. Was Craig simply using his expertise to uncover the truth? Or did his work become part of a larger story that required constant mystery, suspense, and the appearance of progress? Consider the countless discoveries featured throughout the years. Ancient-looking coins, fragments of timber, scraps of leather, and other intriguing artifacts regularly sparked excitement among both the team and the audience. Craig's reactions often played a critical role in shaping how those discoveries were perceived. When pieces of leather believed to be part of an old bookbinding were uncovered, speculation quickly connected them to theories involving lost Shakespearean manuscripts. Fans became captivated by the possibility that priceless historical documents could be hidden beneath the island. Moments like that gained momentum because respected experts such as Craig treated the findings seriously. Whenever scans revealed unusual underground structures, his cautious optimism fueled anticipation. Whenever dangerous conditions emerged, his warnings reminded viewers that the search carried genuine risks. Yet, looking back through a different lens raises uncomfortable questions. Were certain discoveries receiving more attention than they deserved? Were some anomalies highlighted because they made for compelling television? Were the dangers emphasized to heighten drama and tension? If the treasure itself was never the true destination, then Craig's technical expertise may have served a very different purpose than anyone realized. Not deception, entertainment. The machinery used on Oak Island produced legitimate geological information. Core samples, seismic surveys, drilling data, and underground imaging all generated real results. But the real story may lie in how that information was presented to the public. Which details became headline discoveries? Which findings quietly faded into the background? That distinction changes everything. You can see similar patterns across many mystery-based documentaries. Facts are real, but storytelling determines which facts receive the spotlight. Take the famous 90-foot stone, for example. The mysterious stone allegedly contained inscriptions pointing toward hidden treasure. From an engineering perspective, someone like Craig would naturally focus on its authenticity, composition, and recovery methods. Yet the narrative often emphasized its mysterious symbolism and legendary significance. That difference between evidence and storytelling sits at the heart of the debate. If Craig's doubts carry any truth at all, then a difficult question emerges. Was he helping construct the illusion? Or was he simply a dedicated professional whose work became part of a larger narrative beyond his control? The fact that clear answers remain elusive only makes the mystery more compelling, and those unanswered questions extend far beyond Craig Tester alone. Credibility, under the microscope. When Craig Tester appeared to challenge the very existence of Oak Island's legendary treasure, the impact reached far beyond the audience. It inevitably placed Rick and Marty Lagina under a new level of scrutiny. For years, the Lagina brothers have been the driving force behind the entire operation. Their passion, determination, and willingness to invest enormous resources into the search transformed Oak Island from a local legend into a global phenomenon. Millions of viewers see them as sincere explorers pursuing one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. But when someone as respected as Craig appears to express doubt, people naturally begin asking difficult questions. Could the brothers have known more than they admitted? Were they chasing a dream they genuinely believed in? Or were they participants in a story that gradually took on a life of its own? Their reluctance to directly address many of the rumors has only fueled further speculation, and silence often creates more questions than answers. Perhaps the most surprising possibility is that the real treasure of Oak Island was never buried underground at all. Perhaps the treasure was the story itself. Over the years, The Curse of Oak Island has evolved into one of television's most successful mystery series. It attracts millions of viewers, generates substantial advertising revenue, and has built a dedicated global fan base. Viewed from that perspective, the greatest riches may not lie beneath Nova Scotia's soil. They may lie in the success of the phenomenon created around the search. This idea also raises questions about the many people who dedicated years of their lives to the project. Figures such as Dan Blankenship, Dave Blankenship, Charles Barkhouse, and numerous specialists became essential parts of the journey. What did they truly believe? Were they simply following the evidence wherever it led? Or were they contributing to a narrative that had become larger than the treasure itself? Craig's role makes these questions even harder to answer. Much of his responsibility involved evaluating dangers such as underground collapses, flooding risks, and hazardous gas pockets. These threats were frequently presented as serious obstacles standing between the team and a potentially historic discovery. But if the treasure was never the ultimate goal, then another possibility emerges. Were those dangers sometimes emphasized because they added urgency, suspense, and drama to the story? Or is this simply the latest chapter in the endless saga of Oak Island, a mystery that continues to evolve with every passing season? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Oak Island's most controversial theories, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more fascinating mysteries, hidden histories, and unbelievable discoveries. Because on Oak Island, the deeper you dig, the stranger the story becomes.